Hey! The last digit of your like on this video by each who you are from Melon Playground, and the last digit of your subscription to my channel will show your Melon Playground item. So go down right now, subscribe and give me a like. Look at the screen. Notice the last digit of your like and your subscription and write in the comments who you are from Melon Playground. It's simple, if your like is number 8 and the last digit of your subscription is number 5, you're a lemon and a cactus. Show your imagination and enjoy the show.
Hello dear friends, you're on Melonfonk channel. In this video I'm going to show you all the best versions of Melon Playground. But before I start the video, I want to say a huge thank you to these guys for being in my video. If you want to be in my next video, you need to do a few things. 1, you need to subscribe to my channel. 2, you need to like it. 3rd, write your top comment of 4 words or more, and don't forget to watch this video from beginning to end. It's very simple to fulfill all these conditions and have fun watching. In this video, guys, I will try to take you through months of updates so that you remember, cry, or rejoice somewhere, because it was a long and very pleasant time, which personally I remember only with a smile. I will not put these updates in their places. This is just a compilation of the best updates that I caught, or in principle, which seem to me the most global. I'll just arrange them chronologically, from the oldest to the newest and coolest update. To me, the most important and the first major update in the history of Melon Playground is the 10.0 update. In the start menu, we see more thanks to the great Turbo, who praised this game after all, and was the reason why everyone started watching and playing Melon Playground. It was some fun and really carefree time where nothing bad happened, and I only remember the good things. In this update, great things like the rocket launcher or the atomic bomb were added. Monroe bombs were added, which is actually still in demand now. I think the atomic bomb is probably the most iconic item in Melon Playground. I don't know why that's the case. Especially the developers constantly like to improve the effect of this explosion, and as it seems to me, it only gets better every time. In addition to this iconic item, circular saws and a revolver were added. There was added a very strange weapon that shoots for some reason with cups. Namely, it is a cup thrower. In general, it is quite a strange GAN, which I still do not understand. But in general, as a meme in Melon Playground, it is pretty cool. A very cool item like a lever or wrenger was added, which are still now an important part of the mechanisms in Melon Playground. A button and a propeller were added. It was from this update that a huge number of different mods and builds started to appear, around which the whole game is built. I think it was this update gave us a huge number of creators who are still famous for their buildings, and they are still trying to surprise us. Maybe before 10.0 you'll remember some cool update that I missed or didn't think it was important to add to this video. Be sure to write your memories with these updates in the comments and post your best update in the comments. The next best update after 10.0 to me is 14.0. For me, this is probably the best update ever, simply because around this update I started recording videos about Melon Playground. I started giving you content at that time. Of course, I've caught on to previous versions, but as Melonfonk, it was around this update that I became known to you. And for me, this is a very important part of my life. Yes. And in principle, it is a very important update, because it was in this update returned the category of medicine, added weather, in principle added such a very cool and, for some reason, still not popular item as a parachute, as for me it is clearly underestimated at this time, was added limbo connector, and was added the possibility of skip as tutorials. Well, it is also in this update we were given the opportunity to inject syringes into the water cannon. It is, with this update, began to appear a huge number of all sorts of interesting videos about the water cannon and about these syringes, and they are still in great demand, clearly remember only with warmth. The next update was also very cool, and it's update 15.0. This update is the first update that got its beta, and people started beta testing this update before it went online, and even though this update may not be that big, but it was in this update that we first saw transportation in the game that works independently of mechanisms, and it is a Jeep. In addition to this was added summer clothes as well as all sorts of sports equipment, which still looks cool in Melon Playground. And let not so often will be used for videos or in principle to create their own content. The next very cool and global update, and not just in the sense of my perception, but in fact, it's probably the coolest update ever, maybe even somewhere cooler than 10.0 in its globality, and it's update 17.0. And I'm not just saying that. It was in this update that the ability to change lighting was added, dynamic lighting was added, and now we can customize any light on the map, and it was just incredibly cool. I remember even now what a sensation it made on the audience in Melon Playground. It not only destroyed any stereotypes that melee background is bad, it also made it unique and it became so cool and popular. I think that was the peak of her popularity, that the views of even the not-so-great YouTubers in terms of her pitch and uniqueness were at an all-time high. It wasn't really that long ago, it was about a year ago, but that said, it was a very cool time. What do you think about the 17.0 update? Be sure to write in the comments. Well, as far as I'm concerned, this is probably the best update to Melon Playground. The next update is not that big, and in principle, as for me, it's pretty much passable, but still against the background of other updates, it seems clearly global, and it's update 19.0. And despite the fact that it did not make such a sensation as other updates, as I think, this update was still cool. All because a new background has been added, and it's a desert. And this time, the desert has become such a cool background. For one thing, it's a really cool contrast to the others. Especially cool-looking animated background, and it really gave uniqueness in Melon playthrough. In addition to that, there was a huge amount of clothing added, as well as a new transportation called the bus. So overall, this update was a big one, even though it didn't make such an overall cool impression on the entire audience. I don't know why this happened. Maybe you associate this update with something good, but I don't have that kind of warmth inside me. What do you think about it? Be sure to write in the comments. The next update is update 22.0, and this is where I have conflicting feelings. On the one hand, everything is very cool. They added a workshop, but on the other hand, and this precedes the addition of donation. And here I have a very mixed feeling in general. On the one hand, everything is very cool. This is a new milestone in the history of Melon Playground. The addition of workshops, a huge amount of work, donation, the principles of getting money for your work. But on the other hand, as if the audience, for some reason, took it very negatively. And it had a negative impact on the whole atmosphere of the community in Melon Playground. It became more embittered, I do not know why, although as for me, it is really very important and cool update, because the stimulation of authors is to maintain a constant generation of content, not only for themselves, but also for other players. In general, here is actually very controversial, but denying the fact that this is a very important chapter in the history of Melon Playground, I think it is very silly, but your opinion, of course, leave in the comments. I will be very interested to read it. And probably one of the best, if not the best update in the history of the Melon pageant. Probably somewhere on par with 10.0 and 17.0. And this update is 23.0. First of all, the addition of new achievements is a great idea, especially with the addition of a story, because there was no story in Melon Playground before. It stimulated a huge number of players to come back to the game, because after the 6-month downtime of cool updates, Melon Playground lost a lot of its audience. And this update was just refreshing and just breathed new life into the game, basically into the future of Melon Playground. It was after this update that I realized that I still wanted to stay a little bit longer to shoot Melon Playground, because I had the urge to leave. A huge amount of new interesting achievements like Enlightenment were added, a huge amount of puzzles and pass hacks were added that were even scary at moments. Also added was probably the coolest map at this time, which is present in the game. It is Acid Map, which dissolves absolutely all objects that get there. The most popular because everyone wants to dissolve something there, to try something there. In general, a huge springboard for experimentation gave us this map and this update. Also were added new items, new plants, new editors, and all this is just the top of what we got 23.0. Well, on the other hand, there were a lot of bugs, but as if in the family is not without a freak. And I think that this is just a part of what the developers can do with the game, and I think that they will fix everything. I hope you got a lot of pleasant memories and you really got high from watching this video. And that's where it unfortunately comes to an end. Thank you all for watching. Good luck, everyone. Bye-bye, and remember, buddy, as always, I'll see you the other day.